These are 18 Google Ads settings that completely f small e-commerce brands. And if you don't get these right, it could completely ruin your campaigns. My name is Jackson Blackledge, and I'm here with my business partner and head of media buying, Filippo.
Hey guys.
We run Google Ads for some of the biggest brands in the space. Tabs, Ovi, Wine by Lamborghini. After hundreds of audits, we found 18 main settings that seriously mess with your Google Ads performance. The first setting to watch out for is auto apply recommendations. So this setting can automatically implement changes that may not be in the best interest of smaller brands. It can actually lead to unwanted campaign adjustments that inefficiently use your limited budget.
All right guys, so just take a moment to check your auto apply status. So as you can see here, you can just check which one is on or off in this specific account. All of them are off except one. In general, you might want to just turn them all off. In case you had them on so far, you can review in history here if they were actually doing any changes.
Next, let's discuss advanced location options. So this setting is available when you set up location targeting for your campaign. So by default, Google Ads will show your ads not just to people in your targeted locations, but also to people simply interested in those locations. When you set your location targeting, click on location options and choose people in or regularly in your targeted location. This ensures your actual ads only show to people who can buy from your store. Now moving on to point number 3, dynamic search ads. Dynamic search ads automatically generate ad content based on your website. So while this sounds convenient, it often leads to irrelevant or poorly targeted ads that consume your budget without delivering sales.
One thing that not many know is that under your search terms, you can actually check stuff just for DSA. Very important to check your headlines, the landing pages that are actually used to send traffic to. DSA is gonna work only if you have a good SEO on the website, so your pages are optimized for organic traffic. If you go to your own page, you can use some SEO Chrome extensions and it will show you directly what is the SEO title. And in this case, as we can see, there were hundreds of clicks that were sent to this page and the simple title was 7 characters, just the name of the brand. Watch out for DSA, especially if you didn't pay attention to the SEO side of things.
Moving on to point 4, broad match keywords. You want to be careful with broad match keywords because this match type often will appear when you add keywords to your ad groups. And it's actually dangerous because it allows your ads to show on loosely related searches, but not highly relevant. Just to avoid pure broad match in most cases, or you'll end up wasting money on irrelevant traffic and you'll waste a lot of money.
So here's an example. Don't rely massively on broad match, especially if you're a small shop, so you don't have a lot of data yet in Google Ads. You always have to keep in mind that you can select this specific keyword or multiple keywords at once, and then just go and check the search terms.
All right, point number 5, quality score. Here's something you often hear about with Google. Make sure you're paying attention to your quality scores. You can actually see these at the keyword level in your ad account. So quality score is basically Google's rating of the relevancy and quality of your keywords and ads. All right, so next I want to talk to you about something you don't really hear about with Google Ads, and that is frequency capping. You want to keep an eye on your frequency capping settings. Without proper frequency caps, your ads can end up being shown to the same user too many times.
So as you can see here, guys, in the campaign settings, you have now called frequency management for passive advertising campaigns. So display, YouTube, demand generation. You can let Google optimize or set a preference, but of course you can always check the average impressions per user. Keep it monitored, and if you see a high number there, you can always use the settings to reduce the frequency.
Moving on to point number 7, negative keywords. You don't want to neglect your negative keyword list. You can actually create and manage these at the campaign or ad group level. Negative keywords, at the end of the day, they prevent your ads from showing on irrelevant search terms.
All right, so keep in mind that in order to check your search terms, you can do it also for PMAX campaigns under Insights. So in this specific case, we have 3 PMAX campaigns. Here you can see the search categories. You can expand, you can see multiple ones, and you can dig deeper into each category and see what's inside more specifically. So then after that, it's really important to know where to place these negative keywords. If it's something you want to exclude to a specific ad group, do it at that level for search campaigns. For PMAX campaigns, instead, you need to exclude keywords either through support or you can do it at the account level. So if you go to account settings, let's say the word cheap. Your products are not cheap or luxury products. So you want to exclude the word cheap through all the accounts. So there is actually negative keywords also at the account level. So if you have something that you want to exclude at the account level, you can do it here.
Point number 8, conversion tracking. So you want to make sure you're on top of your conversion tracking, because at the end of the day, if you don't have precise conversion tracking, you're flying blind, all right? So you can actually find it. It's in goals and then under measurement, but if you're still within the old appearance, or then the conversion actions are actually under tools and settings menu. So if your tracking is incorrect, at the end of the day, you won't know which campaigns, ad groups, and keywords actually drive the sales, okay? Because Google won't be able to optimize its targeting either.
Actually, it's best practice to have 2 or more tracking for your purchases, and it starts to underperform, to get broken or something. It's useful to keep them in check, one with each other, but it's really important that you don't have both as primary. If you put 2 tracking as primary, then what happens? You go to the campaign level, you can segment by conversion, conversion action, and you will see that actually all the conversions are kind of duplicated. So this advertiser thought it was literally generating almost double.
Next, I actually want to talk about something a lot of people forget, and that's device bid adjustments. More specifically, ignoring mobile bid adjustments. Using manual bidding, you can actually set these at the campaign or ad group level. Mobile traffic performs differently than desktop traffic. Some brands see users converting well on mobile, while others find that mobile traffic doesn't convert as well for them.
What's important to keep in mind is that when you look at your campaign's performances, you can always segment by device, and then you can look into detail, so you can see actually what is your coverage of the page, for example, for search campaigns, so the impression share, and of course, most importantly, your conversion rate, because in general, computers are converting better, so desktops are converting better than mobile. If you are using manual CPC, so either pure manual CPC, CPC, enhanced CPC, or even maximize clicks, you can do bid adjustments for specific devices. So you just go in the specific campaign, and then when and where I'll show devices, and we can bid adjust for the device we want to.
Point number 10 is actually automated bidding on brand protections. There's actually a common theme in settings that we've discussed, and that's going manual over some settings versus Google's automated ones. And one specifically that's really important, smart bidding on brand protection campaigns.
All right, guys, so that's where you find the settings. You go to campaign settings, and obviously you can play with the bid strategy. As we say, don't run with smart biddings, meaning maximize conversion, conversion value, target ROAS. If we just go last 90 days in this account before we actually started managing, this is a pure branded campaign. The search term didn't really change. You can see the CPC was running at around 1 point something, and look what happened, just went down massively.
Next, I want to talk about a process many brands we audit neglect, and that's neglecting experimentation. Google Ads experiments, and no, it's not just experimenting with Google Ads. Many small brands avoid using this. They miss out on valuable insights that could optimize their ad spend. More specifically, a feature called ad variation. It actually helps with A/B testing for landing pages.
All right, so the new layout, you have experiments, you have many types of experiments. We want to focus on ad variations because they can be good also for a smaller account. The most interesting thing is A/B testing landing pages in the right way. So you just change LP 50-50, or you can play with the percentages. Most interestingly, you can go and check your conversion rate. So you can go and see, for example, here, the experiment did 7.7%, the original almost 15. So the experiment was not going into the right direction.
All right, so moving on from Google experiments, every brand should do this from the get-go, and that is brand exclusions from Performance Max. By not excluding branded terms, you actually don't get a clear picture of how your acquisition efforts are actually performing. So the process for this is a little complicated, but let's show you how to properly do it.
You just go in the settings of your campaign, and you're gonna find it hidden in the additional settings. You find the brand exclusion feature. You then set it up. If you stick with just this way of removing branded traffic, what's really important is to check your insights, your search terms. You want to make sure that the brand is actually not showing. If it doesn't work fully, so if you still see your brand in your search terms for PMax, just contact the support. They can help you setting manually negative keywords from their side.
There's also another exclusion you guys need to be aware of, and that's point number 13, excluding search partners and the display network from search campaigns. Search partners and display placements generally perform worse than Google search traffic.
So here is how you see if a search campaign has those networks activated. So you can spot pretty easily if a search campaign has the display network included, because you would see this small white rectangle, while instead it's difficult to see if search partners are included as well. What you can do is just simply segment and then segment by network, and you will see. So here you can see that we have Google search, of course, that's where we want to be. We have search partners and display network. You could really waste a lot of money there, and not only that, but it can screw a little bit your data, because when it comes to CTR or conversion rate, everything is actually an average.
Moving on to point 14, broken dynamic remarketing tags. If your tags aren't working, or you are just collecting the wrong product IDs, your your remarketing efforts will fail.
So here under tools, shared library, you have your audience manager, you see your list. What you want to check now is your data sources. So we go a little bit deeper. So here you can see, especially if you're running an e-commerce with a large inventory, you want to make sure you have dynamic remarketing, because if someone is checking out a specific product, you want to remarket to that user based on the browsing history. You have to check Google Ads tag details. And here you can see that the main two parameters for this to happen, so the product ID and the page type being product page, add to cart page, checkout page, they're not working at all. So you really want to have it checked. You want maybe to have a tech specialist looking at it. If you're using Shopify, it's pretty simple.
All right, so next we will cover some of the core mistakes we actually see in the Google Merchant Center. Wrong shipping times within the GMC, especially handling time and cutoff timer. If these are set wrong, you'll actually provide customers with incorrect shipping speeds.
All right, so under the shipping section, if you see a title like that when it comes to your shipping service, it means it's synchronized from Shopify, and most of the times it includes some mistakes. So you can just click on that and then check the delivery time, and usually you will see mistakes when it comes to the handling time. As you can see here, you have like 3 days, no more, no less, before handling your product to the courier, and there's no cutoff time. In order to solve it, you have to remove the synchronization with Shopify when it comes to delivery time, and then you can modify that yourself.
Moving on to point 16, that is no return policy setup. Not having a return policy in the Google Merchant Center is next to GMC's deadly sin.
All right, so here under shipping and returns, you have the return tab. It's a little bit hidden because the default one is shipping, so many people just miss it. Here you can start to set it up. Google will notice maybe that you have a return policy on the website. It's really important that the information you're going to put here are going to match the website content. Many times Google is going to reject the policy.
All right, moving on to point number 17. This one is simply not enabling product ratings or seller ratings in the Merchant Center.
When it comes to Google Merchant Center, it's a little bit tricky to find info about your product ratings or seller store ratings. You can find them under marketing. Sometimes you have products review there, depends how you upload them. And then under growth, shopping experience scorecard. So what you want to have is really work on them. And especially here, the job is not really done through the Merchant Center itself, but through your review app. Either, the most popular, of course, you could have Looks, Judge Me, Stamped. So the important thing is that you work with them, you play with their supports, and you make sure that both product ratings and seller ratings are activated.
So moving on to our last point of the video, point number 18, I want to cover this super important setting, and that's your Merchant Center promotions.
So in the Google Merchant Center, within marketing promotion, you can see if you have any Google Merchant Center promotion active. Right now, they don't have anything. When it comes to promotion, they're available in multiple countries. You have the list there, and then you can select the promo category. You can do amount off, percent off. You can give free gifts or gift cards, or free shipping, which is beyond your shipping rules. So for example, if you have free shipping above $100, you can make with a coupon code promotion that gives free shipping even below. They're really, really customizable, and basically you can always come up with something that makes sense for your business.
All right, guys, so that was the 18 Google ad settings that small brands and honestly all ecom brands. You can probably fix these settings and scale your Google ads independently, and if you want to implement these settings but you don't have time to do it, then we're obviously here to help. We will give you a free audit that gives your brand a custom sort of roadmap on what you can do better, how you can implement it, or if you want to save time and have experts on that ad account, we're more than happy to do it for you as well and manage your ad account. Click the link below to book in a call with myself. With that being said, we will see you in the next one. For myself and Filippo, ciao.